Welcome back, Frederick Advice Givers, episode 138. I am sitting here on the corner of Patrick and Carroll in downtown heart of Frederick. I love interviewing local business owners in Frederick. I particularly love interviewing local business owners in downtown Frederick. Having been here for 42 years, the heart and the vibe in the downtown Frederick community is so tight. We have a mutual friend in Whitney.
We do.
Whitney joined us. She was the second video podcast that we did. So Whitney joined us in our new format. We love Whitney. We love the muse. I'm sitting here today with Cathy Baucom of The Knot House.
Yes.
Welcome, Cathy.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. So I got to meet you and your daughter in the pre-interview. You guys are a bundle of energy. I love the mother-daughter vibe you have going on. So Cathy, for our listeners who might not know you, tell us your backstory, you personally.
I moved here from Auburn, Alabama.
Okay.
I raised my children in Alabama. My daughter had this vision that she's a good visionary and I'm a good implementer.
Okay.
And I've been here for 5 years. I moved here to open up the Knot House.
And what did you do prior to opening up this? So, okay, I'm going to take this interview in a little bit different direction because I don't quite understand everything about yarns and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So where am I sitting? And Rock is showing us footage right now in the B-roll of the yarns. Where am I sitting and what are these? Explain these yarns to me.
Okay. I like to say that this is my living room. I want the feeling of being a community and being comfortable. And that is one of the nicest things that people say is that it's warm and friendly in here. We specialize in hand-dyed yarns.
So explain that.
Okay. There's commercial yarns that are the same red every time they dye them.
Okay.
Hand-dyed yarns for a vision is a spaghetti pot with 4 skeins of yarn at a time on a kitchen stove, which is where most people start, that are just vibrant colors. And they're not always the same every time. So to not compete with the internet, hand-dyed yarns, you almost have to see, feel,
Okay.
to be able to know what you're getting.
So all the yarns you have here are hand-dyed?
They are.
And are they from, it looks like they're from different suppliers or
They
different?
are.
Okay.
They are. I have some local.
Okay.
Shalimar Yarns is Newmarket. Magpie Fibers is 2nd Street.
Okay.
But then I've got some yarns from Ireland,
Okay.
Canada, the West Coast, Bellingham, Washington.
All right, so who's your clientele?
In the yarn world, people find yarn stores when they're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going from, Michigan down to Virginia, they look up where all the yarn stores are. So we have a lot of people that are traveling,
Okay.
but we have a lot of locals from here to Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania are my locals.
So you're more about like a destination niche.
I am a destination niche.
Okay. So why did you choose the corner of Carroll and Patrick to open your yarn business?
Well, there's a long story behind the building, but when my daughter saw this building, she said it's perfect.
And we're catty corner to the old FNP, Frederick News Post building.
We are.
Okay.
And
Yep.
across the street from the post office.
Exactly. Okay.
The light is fabulous in here. And for color, for yarns, having natural light is just so necessary. And it just has that feel of being warm.
Right. Awesome. You had mentioned it's you and your daughter own this business.
We do.
She's the visionary.
She
You're
is.
the implementer.
That's true.
Have you read Rocket Fuel? A book called Rocket Fuel.
I have not.
So they actually refer to when you're growing a business, even with like Steve Jobs, there was Steve Jobs and Wozniak. You know, Steve Jobs was the visionary and Wozniak was the implementer.
Right.
For any business to succeed long term and to have massive growth, you need to have those two components. You need to have the visionary and the implementer. So you should read Rocket Fuel.
I will.
I actually thought you had taken those terms out of that book.
No, that's just kind of where we are. She comes in and I always say it's a whirlwind. She changes everything up.
Right.
Because I don't like change and I know it needs to be changed.
Right.
And then she leaves. And then I fuss for a day or two and then I like what she's done.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. All right, so you're a pretty loose person, but the next two questions are meant to loosen you up and loosen the interview up. You're pretty, I mean, you have your own podcast, right?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
That's pretty cool. It's you and your daughter
It is.
sitting across from one another talking
is.
about yarns. And all right, so what's the last purchase that you splurged on, either for yourself or for your business?
I'm going to Edinburgh on Tuesday.
Okay.
There's a big fiber festival there.
Okay.
And that's a splurge
Awesome.
for me
Okay.
and the business.
Awesome. Okay. And then what hobby or interest could you spend hours doing? When you're outside of, and then your daughter's laughing in the background here. Was it the, we were sitting here talking about maybe we'd have a martini?
No, I knit all the time.
Do you?
She says I'm the slowest knitter on the planet. And that's kind of an inside joke.
Mm-hmm.
And that I knit very deliberately. I'm not a fast knitter, but I knit all the time. So consequently, I may be the slowest knitter on the planet, but I finish more than anybody else.
So you enjoy it?
I do.
You enjoy it?
I do.
Great.
When I sit at home at night, I can't sit and watch TV. My hands have to be busy.
Right. And we had talked earlier. And knitting is not just for grandmothers, although I kind of said, like, that's my grandmother. My grandmother will sit and, she's not even really looking at what she's doing.
Right.
She's just doing it because she's done it for so long. And she's, next time she's in town, I'll have to bring her in here because she would love the yarns that you have here.
Thank you.
When you wake up in the morning, and yes, you love knitting, but you're also a business owner.
I am.
What's that drive inside of you that wakes you up and gets you going every morning?
I'm a little bit of a control freak, just a little, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I come in, I do the bookwork, I straighten up, I clean up, and I actually think that nobody can do it as well as I do it, so I can't let go of it. So that's probably my driving force.
Okay. So what advice would you give a fellow entrepreneur who is just starting out that you've learned in your years of owning multiple businesses, right?
Right.
And owning multiple businesses, a piece of advice, a shortcut that you could give somebody?
I don't know that there are any shortcuts.
There's no shortcuts, but there's stuff that you've learned along your way of life and business that you said, oh, if I could have done that a different way, maybe it would have taken me 6 months to implement instead of a year and a half.
You have to be ready for changes.
Okay.
You have to stay on top of change, no matter what it is. You have to be prepared for hard work. If you think it's going to be easy, it's not.
Right.
And you have to be in it for the long haul, And if you think you're going to make a lot of money, you're not.
Right. What's that old saying? The days are long, but the years are short. Something like that.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
We think about that about our children, especially young children.
And I'm going through that now. My boys are 11 and 8, and I remember those nights when, man, you were up all night with them, or you'd get like an hour of sleep because they're crying and and you're like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? Right.
Right.
And those nights are so long, but now they're 11 and 8.
I know.
And
the years go by.
They do.
So it's very true.
Yeah, it is.
And I think a business owner is the same way.
Yeah.
You have long days.
Right.
Because basically you're the one that has to get it done.
Correct. But yet you're 5 years. But yet you've been open 5 years, right?
5
and I'm
years.
sure that seems like yesterday.
It really does.
Yeah.
But yet sometimes it seems like a lifetime.
Exactly. So, what's a bad or in what, I don't want to say bad, but I have been saying bad. What's a bad piece of advice maybe somebody gave you, said, hey, if you do this, you can, and this is kind of on the flip side of the question I just asked, that you could get there quicker, that maybe you tried to implement and it didn't work out in the way that you thought, or that person that gave you that advice thought it would work out?
For us in particular, we tried starting out with some commercial yarns.
Okay.
And
You weren't niche enough.
it didn't work for us.
Okay.
But yet, we're one of the few yarn shops that has as few commercial yarns as we do.
Okay.
Our niche is hand dyes.
Right.
It's not sales. They walk in the door and they want to know what's new,
Right. Right.
not what's on sale.
Right. Because, I mean, that's your clientele.
That is.
They come here for a specific reason, specific product.
So we find new dyers that we may be their first wholesale
Okay.
account. And so we bring that to the public that they haven't seen before.
Right. So in the last 3 years, what's one choice that you've made, either professionally or business-wise, that's led us to sitting here today interviewing the Knot House on Frederick Advice Givers?
Just the longevity of being here,
Okay.
of making it this far.
Okay.
I am active in the downtown.
Can
Tell her she's
get in here? We need to at least introduce you. Get in here.
I don't have any lipstick on.
We don't need lipstick. You're a podcast. You were chewing gum. Come in here. All right. Say hi to everybody.
Hi. Is that the camera there?
We have two cameras here.
Cameras?
Yeah. So this is the other half of the Knot House, or the Nut House as I was referring to it until yesterday. And it might be the Nut House in here.
Well, that was.
It's not the
that
Nut
was
House,
the
it's
joke when we were making names up.
Was it?
Actually, oh yeah.
The Nut.
But I say, it could be the Nut House because we are committed
I love it.
to fine and luxury yarns.
I love it. I love it. That could be a great motto.
That's right.
All right. So
What did you want to add?
you want to add anything here?
What was the last question?
What have we done in the last 3 years?
This led us to sitting here today. Was there a pivotal
that
minute?
led us to sitting here today.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Well, the thing that I was thinking about that I was hoping you would say without me having to pop in here, is that we decided to expand the business and go online.
Okay.
Well, I thought about that, but that's only been 2 years ago.
Well, I said in the last 3 years. It didn't have to
Okay.
happen exactly 3 years ago.
Okay.
She is a control freak, isn't she? And you got to work with her every day.
No, I'm a control freak in my
Yeah.
own, with my own thing. So. But
So
no, I
what's
think
your
that-
website?
So the website is knothousyarns.com, and we carry the majority of everything that we have in the shop online. But that's allowed us to compete online and still be, a destination shop and have a local presence. Yet you can't deny the internet and the impact of online shopping, right? And that instant gratification. And we've grown the business. We've grown the business every year, but there's been some times that if we hadn't had that online presence, that it might not necessarily have been a growth month or a growth season.
Okay.
So I think that's important. So.
Mom, anything else you want to add?
No? Social media is just so important.
It's why we're sitting here in front of a camera. We were doing the audio version of Frederick Advice Givers. We did that for 118 episodes. And that model is changing where, I haven't told you exactly everything we're going to do here. And we're talking social media now, so I'm going to expand on that. And we'll keep this in the interview is, our whole goal is to help promote you guys, help promote your business. So we're gonna, you'll have, not only will we have the full audio and the full video, but we'll be able to promote you on Instagram, Facebook. We'll have a 30 to 45, maybe 50-second snippet. We call it a teaser. Then we'll have like a 3-minute featured teaser. Like, so when you go to the movies, when a new movie's coming out, you see the commercial. Yeah, trailer. Well, trailer might be better than teaser, but I like Trailer might be better than teaser, but I like the featured teaser.
All right.
You might just change my verbiage for what I'm doing here. So you have the 30-second commercial you see on TV. Then you have the featured trailer, featured teaser, that's 3 or 4 minutes. So we
Right.
get both of those out for you guys, and then we have the
That's
full
great.
version too. All right, so this segues exactly into my next question. So I've interviewed 137 other entrepreneurs and business owners. I get to ask the questions. Now I want to flip the script. I want you to ask me a question. As I'm learning on every new interview, maybe we're going to call it a trailer instead of a teaser. I just learned something new today. So your turn as a guest on Frederick Advice Givers to ask me a question.
What was your vision when you started Frederick Advice Givers?
That's a great question. So Frederick Advice Givers started out as a way for me to give back to other business owners and entrepreneurs. So I also own a business in Frederick. I have found that my business,
What business is that?
it's real estate.
Okay.
My business grew as I produced more content. Okay, I publish monthly, I publish weekly, I publish daily, on different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm never selling per se. Okay, I'm always bringing my audience to the accepted, to the belief that I need / want them to come to in my business and how I model my business, how I structure everything. About 4 years ago, a local magazine came into my office and wanted to offer me advertising space in their magazine. And I asked, could I produce my own content? Because I was deep into producing my own content at this point, and I knew that was the model to grow a following, to have a community within a community. Okay, so that's why I was talking about niche.
Right.
So I went to a friend of mine, marketing genius, whatever you want to call him, and said, okay, this magazine wants me to advertise in their magazine. I said, what I think I want to do is write articles, because I was deep into writing. I have another book coming out this month. I've got a first book, another book coming out this month. I want to write and feature business owners and entrepreneurs. And he's like, Eric, that is way too, I'm like, blanking hard to do. You can't spend all your time writing and featuring other business owners and entrepreneurs. What we're going to do is we're going to start a podcast. From that podcast, we can write blog posts, we can write articles. I also publish a magazine, Frederick Advice Givers, that we're going to have back up and running with this new version here shortly. So it was really to help other business owners and entrepreneurs share their story. It was a platform. So Frederick Advice Givers is a platform. As I just mentioned, we did 118 episodes, just audio version. Then we've added the video component to it also. So that's my vision, is to help. So I've been in Frederick. You're from Alabama. I've been in Frederick my entire life. Okay, besides going to the Eastern Shore to college, I've literally been in Frederick my entire life. My grandfather bought a farm down south of Frederick in 1957. So my family, my aunts, my dad, we're all ingrained in Frederick. So it's my way to give back to other business owners. Great question. Thank you. Thank you.
So that's
Great
no
answer.
fair. You've seen Frederick change.
Oh my God. Even yes,
Yeah.
it's Frederick's changed. But the downtown's been revitalized. Okay, the downtown itself, aesthetically wise, besides a couple bigger condos, hasn't really changed.
Yeah.
It's 21 and a half seconds on the stoplights as you're going downtown. It was 21 and a half seconds if you hit the green, so you're not getting stopped. Like that part hasn't changed. The buildings haven't, for the most part, changed. But the ancillary growth on the outside of Frederick, oh my God, like Warman's Mill wasn't there, or Urbana wasn't there when I was growing up. It was like Newmarket. You had the Newmarket, you had Frederick, you had Brunswick, you had Middletown, and you had Walkersville, and you had Thurmont up here. And that was basically, you had like these little pockets. Now all these pockets have spread out, and there's growth.
Lots of
Yes.
little pockets in between.
Yeah, Ballinger Creek wasn't, for the most part, there when I was growing up. Yeah, Frederick.
Downtown's great though.
It is, the vibe of downtown. So, one of the questions is, why did you choose Frederick? Everybody that I talk to, like we've had people that will come from like Boston and open up a shop in Frederick, or DC, and like the vibe of downtown Frederick, like where we're sitting right now, is amazing. Like we were talking earlier, like everybody pulls together. Like all these small shops, they all pull together and help each other out. Do you agree?
I do agree. I'm not as involved in that as I, would like to be.
Right.
Because I have another job too. But
on my way in, I stop and get everybody's temperature.
Right. Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. You have to, right?
Yeah. That's how you keep up.
It is. All right. This is one of the best interviews I've had.
Thank you.
All right. So last 2 questions here.
Okay.
What failure or loss has helped mold you and set you up for success? Could be professionally, could be personally, could be wherever you want to go.
What failure or loss?
So I get asked this question. I'll give you a little story while you're thinking of your answer. You asked about why we're doing Advice Givers here, why we have this platform. And the other question is why we do the Impact Club. Have you heard of the Impact Club? So
No.
We started a year ago. We've donated over $113,000 to 5 local charities. The Impact Club is basically crowdsourcing, crowdfunding to local charities. We have over 230 members. Each member commits to $100 a quarter donation. We meet once a quarter. We have 3, and I don't need to explain all the details to you, but 3 local charities come and present to our membership. They tell a 5-minute story about what they do and who they help. And at the end of those 5 minutes, our members vote, and the charity with the most votes receives that quarter's donations. Our donations have been between 18 and 26,000.
Wow.
The reason I do that, the reason I co-founded the Impact Club, is because I have a bracelet right here that it was my cousin. He passed away in July 4th, 2011. He was a month and a day older than me. I don't have any siblings. He was a brother to me. He was the closest thing I ever had to a brother. Conversely, a year and almost 2 years ago now, his brother passed away. Zach died in a boating accident. His brother passed away with throat and tongue cancer. So they died at 35 and 41. The impression that I got and has left a lasting memory with me was at their funerals, in their 35 and 41 years respectively, the amount of people that they touched, the amount of just the giving back in their short lives, that how everybody that ever met them was affected by a relationship, a memory with them. I don't want to be known. You asked what I do, and I hate to even say that I really do real estate. That's how I make my money, but that's not who I am, okay? So the reason the Impact Club is here is because I want to have give my kids something to be proud of. That, their dad started the Impact Club, and in a year we've donated over $100,000, which is amazing. Amazing. So, all right, hopefully that gave you some time to think. So, what's a loss or failure that has helped mold you?
I lost a daughter 40 years ago. I would say that gives me more of a sense of appreciating the people in my life and holding them dear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're
You asked.
I did. All right. Thank you. So where do you see yourself in your business in 3 years and 10 years?
3 years. I hope we're still doing what we're doing.
Right.
I hope our community and the people that we have that come into the shop continue and grows. We have a strong group that comes in on Tuesday nights and Sunday afternoons. 10 years from now, I've asked Heather that not too long ago. I hope I'm still able
It
to
depends on how you're holding up.
Oh, Mom will be just fine. Mom will be just fine.
I hope we've expanded. I hope our online sales are bigger, and we can continue to bring that little piece of happiness in knitters' hearts.
Awesome.
I hope we can bring some more. What's the right way to phrase it? You know, we say this, you know, about we're a little yarn shop in Little Frederick, and we don't do bad for Little Frederick, right? Because I mean, there's places you could be that you could do a lot more volume, right? But in the knitting community, and we have some people that are coming in the next 6 weeks, I guess, that are renowned, that have never been to Frederick before, and so I hope we can continue to bring that expertise to Frederick, so that people can take advantage of it, and it goes both ways. So the people that wouldn't necessarily come to Frederick because of us, and they get to see how great Frederick is, and then also the people that are here get to expand and see people from other places that they might not necessarily get to interact with.
We have a designer coming, and she's from Oregon, and that's kind of a big deal. We have another designer that's coming in just a few weeks, who is from Maine.
Okay.
And
So when they come, what do they come and teach? They come and what do they come to do?
the one from Oregon is coming to teach.
Okay.
The one from Maine she likes our yarn shop.
Okay.
And so when she comes to the area, we've been the only one she comes by and visits,
Okay.
which makes your heart pound a little bit,
Right.
and a little bit of pride
Awesome.
that they would feel that way.
And there's people that would love to meet these people.
Right.
Yeah.
You're talking about Alicia Plummer?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Alicia
Yeah.
Plummer.
Awesome. All right. So how would our listeners find you? Where are you located? Websites? All that fun stuff.
We're 129 East Patrick,
Mhm.
the corner of North Carroll and East Patrick. We're the Knot House on Facebook. We're Knot House Yarns on Instagram.
Yep.
And www.knothousyarns.com.
Beautiful.
What about YouTube?
Oh yeah, you guys have a YouTube
We
show.
do, we
You're
do.
famous.
We're not famous.
You're
We're not famous.
We're not famous, but we're on YouTube.
You have your own podcast.
Knot House Podcast,
Yeah,
right?
it's the Knot House podcast. Yeah.
Awesome. Listeners, I hope you're. Thank you for tuning in this week.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure interviewing the two of you. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Episode 138 of Frederick Advice Givers, and we are out.